All right, so making a video here, just going to give you my thoughts on the new Antigravity A1 drone. This is, I think, a subsidiary of Insta360. So they're using the Insta360 camera technology in this drone. Lots and lots of sponsored videos already out on this product, and I was considering purchasing it for myself because it looked interesting. I'll tell you as to why I didn't. And basically, if in a nutshell, if you don't really want to watch the whole video, my recommendation as of right now in February 2026 is I would wait before buying this product. I don't think it's quite ready yet. This is their first drone in terms of Insta360 entering the drone market. And well, let's just get into why I think you should wait before getting this. So this is a pretty interesting product. They have the drone, they've got a goggle, and they have a motion controller. I particularly don't like the fact that they're using a goggle and a motion controller for basically their first product. I know that the motion controller here, as you can see, is going to be a little bit easier to fly for first time, I guess, beginners. But I think the using a traditional joystick controller would have been better, and also would have kept the cost down. Because this drone is very expensive. If you want the Fly More combo, I think, or the deluxe edition with the extra batteries, which you'll probably want, it's like $2,000, so very expensive. And for those of you that don't understand the concept of a 360 drone, basically it has two cameras, one on top and one on the bottom, that cover a 180-degree field of view, and then you use the software to stitch out the drone so that you don't see it in your video feed. So the advantage of going with something like a 360 drone over a traditional drone is that you can just fly around, kind of not really paying attention to what you're filming because it's filming everything. So basically their concept here is fly first, frame later. It records everything around the drone in 360 degrees. And what you can do later, and after you've recorded the video, is you can then reframe the video to just look at the stuff that's important that you actually want to capture. Of course, there's a lot of AI stuff and video editing stuff that that's one of their selling points of Insta360, where their 360 cameras is that a lot of the video capture is AI driven. The fact that it's very expensive is one thing, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But they're claiming 10 kilometers of transmission range here, as you can see in this part of the product page. A lot of the videos that I saw that were sponsored didn't really go into the range and basically the fact that it didn't have very good range, because they're sponsored videos, Insta360 paying them money to get them to sell the drone to people that are a little bit unsuspecting. So that's pretty typical. When it's kind of surprising how much they've marketed this drone. Actually, they must have spent millions of dollars getting this drone out into everyone's hands and then paying them a ton of money. And they skipped over a very important thing is the range compared to a DJI drone. Yeah, if you just look at it on paper, 10 kilometers seems comparable to a DJI drone, but people that actually bought this drone were getting a very poor results on range. Now, there have been some firmware updates. I don't know if there's been any updated videos on whether those firmware updates have improved the range or not. I think that's still kind of they're still working on it. It's a work in progress. It's the reason why I'm saying that if you really want a 360 drone, I would wait until they resolve. I think this biggest issue is the transmission range. It's just it's all over the map. There's a lot of people that have been having issues with the range, and they can't get anywhere close to that 10 kilometers. The goggles are another thing that people are complaining about. A lot of people say that it doesn't fit their face. That's another reason why I'm kind of surprised they went with a goggle as a first time drone product, because goggles are very fickle. Unless they have a very unique design that can fit the face of most people, which a lot of people have different shaped faces, it's not going to work very well. The diopters only go to +2 and -2 So if you have a stronger prescription in either direction, you will need corrective lenses in addition to the diopters. And as far as I know, there aren't any yet available. So if you have, worse vision than -2 or +2, then you're kind of out of luck. Can't fly it because I don't think that you can use glasses inside the goggles. And then, of course, the motion controller that people were saying that makes it easier to fly. I've heard from a lot of reviews that compared to the DJI motion controller, the one from this drone doesn't really work as well as the one from DJI. It's a little bit clunky, and of course, again, future software updates may fix all these problems. I don't really know how often they're going to be doing future firmware updates because I'm not in contact with Insta360. So if you're asking me about that, I really don't have an answer to that question. I do know that when it comes to their cameras, they typically release their cameras kind of early. This is pretty typical in Insta360. A lot of the cameras come out kind of, and then they launch it basically kind of half baked, and then they add new features, they fix problems, and the product does improve over time. And that's pretty typical for a lot of the cameras that have been coming out from Insta360. So I suspect they're going to also do the same thing for this drone and probably introduce more firmware updates later this year to improve the range and also the controller. But the goggles, they can't really fix. I suspect that they're going to probably make like a SE version of this drone here with like a standard controller they can use your phone with. That's going to be more typical and at a lower cost. But again, I would wait and see if that actually comes to fruition because typically Insta360 likes to put out their highest profit margin products out first, capture as much profit initially until sales kind of decline, and then they'll come out with some cheaper products down the line, but there's no guarantee that anything that's going to happen. And as of right now, there's no hint of that at all, but it's just my speculation. I think if you wait till maybe towards the end of this year, maybe early next year, they'll probably come out with a lighter version of this drone, maybe with just a basic controller and a lower cost. Now, the one thing that they aren't going to be able to fix in software, they might be able to improve slightly, is the resolution of the footage. Yes, they are using an 8K camera now, and it is basically, in my opinion, kind of like very high quality 1080p video or 2.7K video compared to what you can get on, even like a very entry level basic DJI drone, like the Mini 4K, for example, which comes in around $300. If you look at the actual footage and you zoom in on the footage, the resolution, yes, they claim it's 8K, and then obviously when you export it, you can export it as 4K. But when you zoom in on that footage, you're going to find that it is fairly low resolution compared to your typical DJI drone. So just something to be aware of. That's just the nature of what a 360 camera is. Probably until they improve the resolution of the 360 camera to say maybe like 12K or higher, where the pixels are going to be more, basically the pixel definition is going to be more higher resolution and sharper. The image is just going to be softer and not quite as nice. So even though they say you can export it as 4K, it's really like upscaled 2.7K or really nice high quality 1080p video. It's not really true 4K video. And I've talked about this in my reviews of the X4 360 camera, which is basically what this drone is using. It's using the same sensors and lenses from the X4 and X5. I think that the processing is similar to the X5, so it'll probably do better than what I've reviewed in the past. So I've reviewed a lot of 360 cameras on drones before. So if you guys go back 5 years or so, I think this is like this video here. It's called the Stealth 360 frame. It's a DIY FPV drone that you can put a 1R camera. So this is their 1R camera from Insta360, which is a 360 camera, which only has 5.7K video. The idea of putting a 360 camera on a drone has been around for a long time. So I put this video out in October of 2020, and you can watch this video. I'll link all these videos in the video description. You can check it out. But if you want an idea of the kind of video footage you can capture with a 360 drone, granted, this is 5.7K video, not 8K video, which you're going to get in the Antigravity A1, but it still gives you that sense of the fact that it's not really that high resolution, because you are kind of, you're kind of taking a really wide field of view and trying to squeeze a lot of pixels into a smaller space, which ultimately ends up in a softer image. So there's this one here from 2020. And then BetaFU made this X-Night 360 invisible drone. So basically, again, 360 video. The drone gets stitched out in software, and you get that 360 video. Again, this is the same camera, the 1R with 360 cameras. So you can look at that video as well, and you can have some footage in there as well. So you can it'll give you an idea what that 4K footage looks like. I exported it as 4K, but if you compare it to other 4K video that you can get from a standard DJI drone, it's just not as high quality. And then there's another drone here. I reviewed the it's called the Invisi 360 from Newbie Drone. And again, another like CineWhip type drone that puts a 1R camera in there, the 360 camera. Again, the same concept. Now, in 2022, I reviewed this product called the Insta360 Sphere. This is also from Insta360. Basically, it took your two camera lenses here. I think this is a DJI Air 2S, and you put a 360 camera on a DJI drone. You have a lens up here on top, and then one on bottom, and then you attach it to the drone. And again, you can go and watch that footage. I think it's towards the end of this video. And again, it's 5.7K video, but it kind of gives you an idea of like the limitations of 360 video and the resolution. So if you're looking for really sharp quality, high quality video, you're really not going to get it from a 360 camera. What you're getting instead is the ability to reframe your footage after you've already shot it. So you can fly the drone around here and then capture different kinds of footage. So if you just want to, say, for example, capture footage of it looking straight down, you can do that and export that video. Or if you want to capture the video of the footage from the side only, you can do that. Or you can kind of move around as the drone moves around. So you can capture basically an infinite possible number of shots from that, because you are capturing the entire 360 degree field of view around the drone. But I don't think they make this product anymore, but if you have like a DJI drone, you get this product, you could get sort of the best of both worlds and capture your nice 4K footage from your DJI drone here, and then the 360 footage on top of that. Kind of wish they would have updated this to 8K, because the 8K footage is definitely better than the 5.7K footage, but again, it's still not as good as regular 4K footage you can get from a regular DJI drone. So basically, again, the bottom line is I think I would wait before getting this. I would recommend, if you are considering buying this, I would get it from Amazon and not directly from Insta360 or the Antigravity website. I've heard a lot of stories all over the place that people that bought it directly from the Antigravity or Insta360 store had a hard time returning it. So they ran into these problems with range, losing connection. Maybe the goggles didn't fit their face well or hurt their face, and they wanted to return it. And they had a lot of issues with returning the drone to Antigravity. So if you are considering getting this because you just want those features, even with the limitations, I would recommend getting it from Amazon, because you can return it within 30 days if you don't like it. I have considered myself just buying it, and maybe if just for the review and then returning it afterwards. But honestly, based on all the reviews I've seen, it kind of falls into two camps. You have a whole bunch of the sponsored videos that are all hyping it up, trying to get you to buy it, saying it's the best drone ever, blah blah blah. And then you have the people that actually bought it with their own money. There's a few videos here and there that kind of pop up in the search results. They don't get a lot of views at all. They're hard to find, and I'll link some of those down in the video description. They're very difficult to find, so I'll link some of the sort of more honest reviews down in the video description if you want to go watch some videos that I watched and basically see it from the people that actually bought the drone and then the ones that they're basically wanting to return it and they can't return it. So kind of sad there. Again, I would wait. I would wait until they come out with a regular controller. Just get rid of the goggles and this motion controller. A regular controller at a lower price. I suspect that this product will come down in price. That's typical for a lot of the Insta360 stuff, but you have to wait like a year or two. So I would say like maybe in a year they'll come out with this drone with maybe like one battery and one controller. You use your phone, and it'll probably start at maybe like $700 or $800, kind of like in the range of like the Mini 4 Pro. And from there, as they come up with the newer products, maybe by then the Antigravity A2 or the A3 will be out. They'll lower the price of this one. They'll probably continue to sell this one because Insta360 still sells their cameras from like 5 years ago on their website at a lower price. So that's what I would think. I would recommend is if you really want a 360 camera on a drone, wait for the price to come down and wait for them to come out with a controller that you can use your smartphone with, and wait for the price to come down. Because I think right now, for what you get, it's just overpriced. I don't think there's a really good value right now. So I would wait before picking this up. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found my thoughts useful. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. If you bought this drone, let me know what your thoughts are. If you've bought it and returned it, also let me know. Kind of interested to hear what people think about this drone in general. But yeah, personally for me, I don't feel like at this time it's worth even picking up to review it in terms of buying it with my own money, because I've seen enough reviews to know that this is not really worth buying at this time. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.